If you haven't already, check out my last video. Now let's get into today's video. What's up? Welcome back to my channel, Plant Loving J. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, we need to take care of some plants. So recently here in the Houston area, we had a little cold snap. We got down into like the 20s or 30s. And now we're back up into like the 70s, borderline 80s. I had to bring in all my plants in from outside. And today I'd like to go ahead and just see which plants I can keep inside and take the big plants back outside because we don't have any space in here for them at all. So if that's something you're interested in, please keep watching.
It's like glacier, pretty like great chasing. I've become complacent. Look to the operations. My God, it feels amazing.
Here are some of the bigger plants that I have in my dining area. These are the ones that will definitely be going back outside. Some of them could be doing a little better, but that's okay. Some of them have been getting really toe up by being directly in the sun. With the seasons changing, the sun has been a little bit more harsh than normal. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these rearranged and get most of them put back outside so that they can continue to get some really good lighting. So some of them need to be chopped down, but we'll go ahead and assess each plant as I go ahead and try to move them back outdoors. And I also plan on repotting some of the plants. And I also plan on repotting some of these plants if they need it, especially the ones that may stay in the house because the conditions indoors are much different than the conditions outside. We're having some big fluctuations in the weather. Today it is going to be a high of 80 degrees. It recently got down into the 20s where I am, so let's go ahead and see what we can do to get these plants situated. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and try to keep most of them indoors if I can and only put the big ones back outside because they are taking up a lot of space. I don't wanna continue to be doing this shuffle with these big plants or a lot of the small plants, bringing them in and out because we are getting ready to be in the cooler months and we're starting to get a taste of some much cooler weather. So let me go ahead and show you some of the plants that I have upstairs. So here are my plants that I have upstairs. They're just sitting on the floor on top of a garbage bag so that if the bottom of the plants are wet in any kind of way, that they're not going to be messing up the floor. I did move all of these plants in earlier this week, like maybe about Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. It is now Saturday, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my free time and try to get them set up. So let's see if I can kind of go over some of the plants I do have up here. And these are gonna be the plants that I would like to keep inside if I can find a place for them. So I have two strawberry shakes up here. Here's one, and here is the other one. This is the one that I got from HEB some time ago. She's doing really, really good. Here is my variegated domesticum. I also got this plant from HEB. I have another plant that I'm trying to save here. I think this is a philodendron 69686. I have a variegated philodendron here that reverted, that ended up having to cut from the mother plant, so I just went ahead and stuck her in soil. I have another rescue plant here. This is a philodendron Jose Bono. I actually have two. Here is my variegated Burley Marks that was outside. She is on a moss pole and she's doing really good. Most of the plants that I had outside are like rescue plants or plants that weren't doing very well inside, and some of them are plants that just lived outside. So here is my philodendron silver sword. She was getting burnt up. She was getting burnt up a little bit by the sun, but she's been growing pretty well since I got her. I got this plant at a nursery here. I got this plant at a nursery here in the Houston area some time ago. And here is my Monstera Thai Constellation. I recently combined two of these plants that were outside into one pot. It's doing okay. It's seen better days, but I'm gonna go ahead and definitely leave this one indoors because it's been getting burnt. I think she would do better with some light, with with a grow light versus getting some of this versus the sun right now, because the sun, I guess because of the time changing and the sun has been kind of setting in a funny location, she's been getting burnt, and normally she can take direct sunlight. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a good place for her. And back here I have my Monstera, what is this called? I don't know. I have my Monstera Swiss cheese plant. She didn't like getting moved into the house at all. I think that she was doing I think she was struggling a little bit where she was at outside. She has been doing very well up until like maybe about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. She's starting to lose her lower leaves. I don't know what's causing that, but she's sizing up really good. She is on a moss pole. Look at the size of her leaves at the top of her moss pole. So it's looking like she's lost her lower leaves here. But I'm gonna do my best and just remove the older leaves and go ahead and get her, I'm gonna go ahead and clean her up a little bit and see if I can get her back into a happy place like she was before. This plant was growing very well, and I cannot believe she's starting to have a fit like this, but I'm gonna clean her up and get her situated. I think I do plan on leaving her inside. And this is another leaf from the silver sword. It wants some attention. So they're all just kind of pushed over here in the corner, just sitting on the floor. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to put most of these plants on my plant shelf. So let's go ahead and get started. Back up on the scene, done dealing with you, don't know how to deal with me. Done fucking with you, don't know how to love me. Done dealing with you, so it seems like I get so much, I don't get nothing back. I really thought it was love, but you're so fucking whack. Always get caught up in love, but now you done with that. I can't get caught up in love, so now flexing on my exes and my Model X. Pretty little skinny little bitty body Model X. Some of y'all ain't never had no real bitch and it shows. I keep it 100 from my head down to my toes. Back up on my bullshit, back up on the move. Push down in my home now, got nothing to lose. I am on my own now, I am in control now. I need you to go now. I can fix my own crown. Back up on my bullshit, back up on the scene. Don't dealing with you, don't know how to deal with me. Done fucking with you, don't know how to love me. Done dealing with you, so I'm back, bitch. Back on my pussy, back on my dish, you in the studio. Back on tequila, back on the strippers, all the groupie hoes. This could get ugly, I'm petty, I want you bad out of smoke. I'm coming crazy, baby, one thing that you should know. Little baby, bounce back, act like you a stranger, Memory loss, I play it like that. Call your boys, I'm gang about that. Faded up to 42 quarters, too important. Blue dream inside the roll up, hold up. Watch me go up, leave you so stuck. I'm back and I'm better thing. They one bitch on my level, ain't no question. I'm a legend, baby. Don't ever forget it. No, you see me rolling in this rose gold, so cold. Oh no, I can't fuck with lanes like you no more. Now we're back upstairs and I'm getting ready to go ahead and put some of the plants that I brought in from outside on my plant shelf. Before I get started putting some of these plants away that I moved in from outside, I want to show you some of the plants that are over here that are kind of interesting. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. First, I want to show you my philodendron Billie. I did unbox this plant and repot it on this channel when I first got it. I want to say it's probably been about a year. Let me show you how she's growing today. Let me back you up some. Do you see this plant? Okay, here is my philodendron Billie that I unboxed and hauled on this channel, and I also repotted her. Look how big she is. I recently watered her, so her water reservoir is pretty full, but look at this leaf. Look at this leaf. Isn't this crazy? So I had to pull the plant off of the shelf because her petioles are going in every which way. They're going in all different directions. And here is one of her older, let me see. Here's one of her older leaves that started growing in my care. When I first got her, she was such a baby. And look at this monster leaf. Here's another leaf. I mean, here is a leaf that I don't know what's going on with it, but the petiole is extra long and it's the only leaf on this plant that wants to face down. She was on the higher shelf right here. And I was like, she is starting to take over the entire shelf. Currently, she's living here on the floor because I noticed that she's starting to block some of the other plants that were actually on the shelf. But I am so impressed. I can't believe she's growing like this. I already have a Billie that I've been growing since it was like a really small baby. And her leaves are not even this big. This plant, if I can find a picture of when I first unboxed her on my channel, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in here. And if not, I'll just go ahead and pin the video at the top of the screen so you can check it out if you're interested. But I don't even know what to do. I don't know if, can you see? Here's one of her older leaves as well. And she's still in a 5.5-inch pot. I'm trying not to get water everywhere, but this is her pot. And this is how she's growing. I don't even know what to do with her. I don't know where I'm gonna put her. She is just wild. But I'm so happy for her. She is really happy and really comfortable. I feel like she needs a bigger pot, but she's not extremely root bound. She's just growing really, really big in this little tiny pot. I can barely get her in the shot, and I'm almost scared that I'm gonna knock my camera over trying to show you the size of her leaves. I cannot believe this. These leaves are humongous, and a lot of the bigger leaves were actually facing the wall. They're not even reaching for the light. Oh shit. This is her newest leaf, and this is the only leaf that has been reaching for the light that I can see. It's like it almost doesn't care about the light. I can tell that it loves the light, but she's just happy to be here. And I love that for her because I want my plants to be happy just to be here with me and not be throwing a fit every time they get a chance. And she's actually starting to grow a new leaf. And yeah, this is my philodendron Billie. When I get a chance, I'm gonna go ahead and try to show you my other Billie. She's actually on a moss pole on my plant shelf. So my other Billie is actually on this bottom. Let me put her down before I knock something over or spill her water everywhere. But my other Billie is right here. I don't know if you can see her. She's actually growing a new leaf as well, a very brand new leaf. She's on a moss pole. She's in leca. Big, this big one right here is in pond. And she's doing great. I mean, goodness, it's so big. So this is the first plant I wanted to show you, and I'm gonna, so this is one of the first plants I wanted to go ahead and show you that has nothing to do with me bringing my plants in from outside, but this is crazy. Look at this leaf, okay? All right, let me show you the next plant over here that's kind of getting out of hand. And I'm actually gonna have to move her off the shelf because she's starting to grow through the shelf above the grow light. So let me go ahead and show you her really quickly. And I'm gonna move this one out the way so I don't accidentally kick her over because she is just sitting in here on the floor. So. Here's my philodendron Atapapawensi, whatever. So she is currently growing through the top of the shelf, and I just wanted to go ahead and show you one of her older big leaves that is just reaching for the light. Her leaves are reaching in every different direction. So I have a window right here. There's grow lights above her, and there's grow lights on both sides of her as well. And there's also grow lights on both sides of her attached to my shelves and also in my XO. So let me go ahead and show you what she's looking like on this shelf. I'm gonna have to take her down so I can fit the plants that I did bring in from outside on this shelf. So let's go ahead and get her removed so I can start moving some plants on this shelf that I brought in from outside. So my philodendron Billie was actually sitting right here on the shelf, and I had to take her down and another plant that was just getting a little too big. But I think I ended up moving that plant outside or maybe somewhere else on one of the shelves. So let me go ahead and take her down and start getting some things moved around. So let's go. I got her down.
Baby, every time I close my eyes, get a glimpse of this candy paint. Don't slip off when it drip off on top. You really see it here, lifting up and toss the bed. I know everything you want. I'ma show you how I stroke it. Bring your watch on top of me. I'ma let you beat it boss on me. I know everything you want. Give me that daddy long stroke. I can't wait till I get home so you can tear that cherry out. Turn that cherry out. Fast from the way it was, jump quick to a great chick, running back to the strip club. I'm never going back, never going back. No, you can't make me. Never going back, never going back. They never take me. I paid enough of petty dues. I put enough of shitty news. I had a thing for dirty shoes since I was 10. Love dirty men alike. Ooh, that's the day, then yesterday. Ooh, I just take it day by day. Ooh, never hearing what they say. Ooh.
Let me know what you think, how everything turned out. I still have some plants that I might need to try to go and repot, but I'm gonna do that outside off camera. So let me know what you think about how everything turned out in this area as far as trying to find some space for the plants that I brought in from outside. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.